Hey guys, it's Mr. Dominari here, and we are back with another reaction video. This time around, again, Destiny 2, but this time, Aztecross's Destiny 2 has become a microtransaction hell video. It's actually garnered quite a lot of views, and I must say, I've been hearing that it goes into detail, or at least it lays out really important points. I'm sorry, it's hard to talk about it without watching the video because I haven't really given Destiny 2's microtransactions a lot of thought myself. And when I do, I don't have a lot of good things to say usually, especially since the game went free to play. I know that kind of boosted what type of microtransaction it is, and recently I'm not very proud of what they've done, like with shaders behind bundles and increasing prices in Eververse. I like the seasonal prices increasing. I'm not a big fan of that, especially since seasons aren't in a great place. Recently, I think the previous season of Defiance, I don't think was very good. In my opinion, I think Season of Defiance wasn't a very great season. However, I do think Season of the Deep is a fine season. I think Season of the Deep is a perfectly fine season. I think the season before Season of Defiance, um, the one with Elsie and Clovis and all that, I think that was an amazing season. I think that is a top tier season. I think Season of the Deep is also pretty okay. I think it's fine. But to increase the price whenever the quality of these seasons are so up and down, I don't know. That's my thoughts going into the video. I'm sure it's going to bring up points that I haven't thought about or things that I haven't really, I guess, addressed before, because I'm not known to critique Destiny 2 very much, or at least not on videos. At least on stream I do. I know I do. And the last time I did critique Destiny, it was years ago, when I made a video on it. But I'll leave my thoughts at least until after I've watched the video.
October 13th, we'll see the return of Test to the Tower. Silver is a new currency coming to Destiny that is bought with real money. This is the introduction of microtransactions
7 years ago.
But I've never had a problem with cosmetic microtransactions. A lot of people will now mention the slippery slope argument. Yes, Dado, we start with shaders, emblems, emotes, but who is to say that they won't introduce materials, armor, or weapons in the future? If we see legendary guns for sale, if we see legendary marks for sale, I'm gonna be mad. If we see something like 100 motes of light for $5, I'm gonna be mad. I don't want to see power sold. I don't want to see shortcuts to power sold. Nothing. I don't want to see weapon parts, ammo synths, nothing. If Bungie does cross that line, you have my rage.
Guys, I hate to say it, but now may be the time to start raging. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying, no, this is not a joke video. When it comes to greedy corporate monetization practices, to us, this is really not a laughing matter. Those clips you just watched are from a 7-year-old video Dado posted in Destiny 1 about a month after the release of the Taken King. And my God, it has aged like fine wine. Today, we're talking about the state of microtransactions inside of Destiny 2. Because over the last several years, and increasingly this past year, we have seen a dramatic increase in monetization for anything and everything Bungie can slap behind a paywall. This includes raising prices, creating new avenues for spending, double dipping into the existing player base, and giving players blatant pay-to-win benefits. Now, here are the timestamps on the screen for each topic covered in this video. This is going to be a long one, so grab your popcorn. And one thing I ask before you leave a comment criticizing or even defending Bungie, please watch this video in its entirety. We're going to cover a lot of ground today because I want all of us here to have a full perspective on how bad microtransactions have become over the past 7 years. And maybe by the end of this video, when all Bungie schemes are on the table, you will share my concern for what this game may look like 7 years in the future.
Oof. Free to play. Yep.
Now, first off, I want to set the record straight. Destiny 2 is not a free-to-play game. It's a free-to-try game. It's very important we are all on the same page here because this is the most common justification for the use of microtransactions across the industry. And the biggest illusion Bungie tries to spin in their marketing. Microtransactions in real free-to-play content makes perfect sense. If you're not paying to purchase the actual software, then the developers are completely justified in generating revenue using other means. Usually, this is just in the form of cosmetic items that players purchase just for digital fashion, fun, or even
Yes.
clout. But developers can also use more shady techniques like loot boxes, bonuses, or even additional content to persuade players to spend more money. With that being said, Destiny, even after becoming free-to-play in 2019, has never actually been free-to-play. Matter of fact, Sweatcicle even made a video a couple weeks ago documenting the experience of a free-to-play player in Destiny, which I highly recommend giving a watch. In a nutshell, after completing the introduction quests and missions, free-to-play players can access Strikes, Crucible, Gambit, the Prophecy Dungeon, Vault of Glass, King's Fall, Open World, and Dares of Eternity. On the surface, that actually seems like a decent amount of free content, but is it actually? Compared to the massive amount of content in Destiny, this is just a fraction of what the majority of players have access to. You don't even get a campaign in free-to-play. You get rituals, quests, and a couple of high-end activities. Let's compare this to some other free-to-play games, shall we? Starting with arguably the most popular free-to-play game, Fortnite. There are plenty of microtransactions in Fortnite, but all of them are strictly for cosmetics. Even the seasonal battle pass, which you can pay for, is earnable via just playing the game. Granted, that would take a while. The free version of the battle pass gives you V-Bucks that you can save up to buy the paid version. And as long as you play enough to complete the battle pass each season, you can earn enough to repurchase it again next season. 100% completely free. There's even some currency left over you can choose to save or even spend in the shop if you want to buy some cosmetics. Next up, we have Warframe. Yes, I know comparing Destiny and Warframe is kind of a touchy subject, but Warframe is also a free-to-play game. The Nightweave Battle Pass is completely free. The updates are free, and you can earn the paid currency in the game's player-driven market. So it too is essentially free. Now, these are just two prime examples, and I could dive into more, but I think you get the point. These games grant you access to all the actual gameplay content for free. In Destiny, you get maybe 10% of the content for free, which means this is not exactly free to play. That's a free trial. Destiny is by no means the first to do it though. Remember the light versions of apps back in the early days of iPhone? Every major game had a free light version, essentially a demo. Eververse Lite, Minecraft Lite,
I do remember that, actually.
Lite. I don't have a problem with free trials, but free trial and free to play have been commingled so much that players can't differentiate between the two. Another common trait of free trials
This is edited
that they're
really
full
well.
of ads. As a new light player, the number of pop-ups you receive in game telling you to buy more content is ludicrous. Don't be fooled. Bungie offers a free trial of Destiny 2, and if you want to play the full version, you have to pay money. Lots and lots of money.
House of Wealth.
Now, Destiny 2 has a lot of paid
Oh my
content. But
God,
quite
look at
frankly,
that.
It's confusing as hell. You got the Lightfall plus annual pass, or Lightfall by itself, the Legacy Collection, which includes Witch Queen, Beyond
Oh my
Light, and
God.
Shadowkeep, the 30th Anniversary Pack, Witch Queen, Beyond Light separately, as well as Shadowkeep separately, the Forsaken Pack, and
Okay, I don't pause reactions. I do want to pause to at least say this. It's gotten to the point where I love Bungie. I love what they do. It's Destiny 2 is one of my favorite games ever, and it will stay that way. It's really made an impact on my life, but it's best when it is played with friends, and I love when I can get new friends on board with it. Like my friend Darren. I love playing with Darren so much, and I love playing with my friend Kostin as well. And I want to bring up Kostin because it's gotten to the point where when I do talk about Destiny with Kostin, under not his fault at all, I feel bad. Like I've never like had to feel bad about suggesting a game to someone, and it's not because the game is bad, because I genuinely think it is a great game. It's because of everything under it. The Forsaken pack, you need Shadowkeep, Witch Queen, all that. You need to buy like $400 worth of stuff to be able to enjoy it, at least the amount that I'm enjoying it. And it makes me feel bad because I don't want to have to ask someone to sink hundreds of dollars into a game that I chose to sink into. I just don't think. I feel like it isn't right. It makes me feel terrible. And so it's gotten to that point. You know, like I was playing. I think I was playing either Shadowkeep or I was playing Witch Queen campaign. No, I was playing the Shadowkeep campaign, I think, or Beyond Light. And we had to ask him to get Beyond Light, and then we asked him if he wanted to get Witch Queen, and then Lightfall, and he actually participated in the raid race with us, and I loved that he did. He pulled his weight like nothing else. It was great, but I felt terrible by the end, or at least even in the moment. At least I felt terrible for making him pay that much to enjoy. I don't know, a couple months worth of content before something else comes out. I don't know.
and the Armory collection, which includes both Forsaken and the 30th anniversary pack. There's so many different bundles for old content that, quite frankly, this is absurd. I have so many people that come into the stream that ask, which one do I buy? And quite frankly, how in the hell is someone new to the game supposed to navigate all of this? Now, here's a novel idea. Why don't Bungie just bundle everything? Literally, just the everything bundle. All content through the year of Lightfall, or the Lightfall plus annual pass, or the legacy content bundle, which includes all those old things that tends to confuse the piss out of everyone. Now, if you need to itemize old expansions for players who want to purchase a single piece of content, that's fine. But even this list is already so much simpler than what Bungie already offers. Then you may be asking, why does this not exist already? Spoiler alert, there's no singular bundle for all of old Destiny content because Bungie refuses to improve the new player experience for the sake of decreased revenue. If they care more about the player base than the extra cash, they would bundle all the old content under one single legacy content bundle instead of nickel and diming new players. Now, why is the Forsaken pack, a bundle containing a raid, a dungeon, and some exotic weapons and armor, still even a thing? It also used to contain 9 supers for each light subclass as well, and those were added into free-to-play because locking supers behind paywalls was stupid, and what remains is what new players are still paying for. Now, why was the 30th anniversary update even a separate paid add-on in the first place? Remember when Bungie updated the game with cool content for free? Some new players might not remember, but the April update in Destiny 1 was a free update to the game that increased light level, added a new story mission, quests, revamps of old strikes, updates to the Prison of Elders, chroma gear for custom armor glows, a new taken set of armor, reprised exotics, and legendary weapons. All of this for free. It was like a mini expansion that we got as a gift from Bungie. Fast forward a year ago, if you didn't pre-order the deluxe edition of Witch Queen, you had to dish out $25 to get access to things like the Grasp of Avarice dungeon, Galahorn, and a bunch of cosmetics. Yes, there were parts of this update that were free, like Dares of Eternity, which is a completely new activity, and I understand that a lot of developer work went into creating these, but I bring this up to draw a comparison of how things used to be 7 years ago. The reality is, if the 30th anniversary update was released in Destiny 1, we would have received it completely free.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the dungeon keys. Never have been.
Now, the 30th anniversary update was also the tipping point that introduced dungeon keys to Destiny 2. These have got to be one of the most divisive double-dipping additions to the game ever made. For those of you who don't know, dungeon keys were added in the Witch Queen. Bungie releases 2 dungeons each year, and if you don't buy the deluxe edition, that being the expansion plus annual pass, you also have to buy these separately. Both dungeons are sold together for 2,000 silver. This is Bungie's in-game currency, which equates to $20. No longer are dungeons included in seasonal content, which made a lot of us scratch our heads.
$20?
What the hell, Bungie? This
for 2
only
dungeons?
makes paying for content more confusing. And we know it to be a fact from first-hand experience. One of our part-time editors bought Season of the Deep to play the dungeon and didn't realize Ghost of the Deep was not included in Season of the Deep, meaning he had to go buy the dungeon key after buying the season to play what he actually wanted to play. If one of us can make that mistake, how much easier is it for a new player who has never played Destiny to make that mistake as well? The title for the dungeon trailer on YouTube even suggests that it's included with the Season of the Deep. You will only find out otherwise if you read through Bungie's website, or visit the activity directly, or visit the last page in the Eververse store, which we know a decent portion of new players will not know how to do.
Damn. No return on investment.
Okay, so dungeons no longer ship alongside seasonal content. Surely the price of seasons deserve to be lower, right? No. Bungie raised the price of seasonal content. If you want to buy a season by itself, it used to cost only $10. And honestly, for 6 weeks of story, some cool cutscenes, access to the multiplayer activities and new gear, I would have argued that it was a great deal. But then Bungie increased the price. And you know what? Fair enough. Adjust for inflation, gotta put food on the table. It makes sense. Bungie announced in a twab they were increasing the price of seasons from 1,000 silver to 1,200 silver, which puts us at $10 a season to now $12 per season. Or does it? You see, when you buy silver, Bungie gives you a little extra for each purchase. And the bigger the purchase, the more extra you get. So when you buy $10 worth of silver, that being 1,000, you actually get 1,100 silver. That's so generous of them. Funny how that works too, because that's just short of the amount needed to buy a new expansion. So to buy an individual individual season, you need to purchase $15 worth of silver, not 12. Meaning Bungie actually raised the price by $5 because you can't buy seasons with real money. You have to buy them with Bungie's tokens. They're fake money. Now I'm surprised too, considering how cluttered the Steam store is already with expansions, which by the way, you can buy with real money. Why not just add each season there too? Make an annual season pack. Hell, folks are already confused. You might as well add it.
Wait,
Something tells me we won't ever see a $12 silver purchase option anytime soon. Luckily, Bungie added the $15 option right before Season of the Deep, and even created a $100 silver purchase option too. So if you want to bankroll their pockets even more, that's a lot easier for you. And guess what? You thought a $5 increase was bad? Let's take a trip down to the Microsoft and Epic Game Store, where there is no $15 silver option. The next highest is $20. You're now paying Bungie double the price for a new season.
What?
Guys, that's just borderline evil. Thankfully, any players who use these platforms are not completely screwed. Bungie does offer a $15 seasonal silver bundle as well, but not only is it separate from the other silver purchase options, it also doesn't advertise how much silver it gives. You actually have to click into it to see how much silver you are buying. But hey, it comes with the free emotes. Am I right? I do want to be clear. I'm not against silver existing or people buying silver. I've bought plenty of silver. I'll even meet Bungie halfway. I'm not against paying $12 for a season, but it's these shady, scummy, underhanded tactics that Bungie keeps using that pisses me off. Bungie, if you're gonna raise the price of the season to $15, at least have the balls to just tell us straight. I shouldn't need to perform mental gymnastics to decipher a change in pricing structure like it's a day one raid encounter. It's not the price increase that rubs me wrong. It's how Bungie intentionally designed it to siphon more money while deceiving the community into thinking it was less.
Yeah. It just seems like it would be obvious in their game.
All right, this whole video has been pretty tame up until now. That's all going to change when we talk about seasonal events and event cards. Event cards are
not a fan of the event cards
worst
either.
paid item ever added.
Yep, exactly. It is the worst
Bungie
one.
had the idea to add event cards to Destiny. These are filled with event challenges that grant you materials, event cosmetics, weapons, etc. This card was introduced as Bungie's solution to simplify in-game events, making it easier for players to reference what they needed to do to earn more rewards and complete the event title.
What?
Their solution? Plaster a giant pay to unlock button on the front of the event card to earn more rewards. You heard me right. You have to pay 1,000 silver, $10, for the privilege of completing challenges so you can earn these extra rewards. It's essentially a mini battle pass that is already inside of a seasonal battle pass model. If you don't complete the challenges, you don't get any rewards. And even worse, players often don't know that it only gives you 4 cosmetics. All the others on the card are free. This microtransaction is positioned strategically where all players interact with event challenges, because if you don't buy it immediately, Bungie wants you to stare at it for 3 weeks while you finish all your other challenges, slowly seducing you to part with $10 for a couple extra cosmetics. But Cross, it's only cosmetics. What's the big deal? That is the big deal. Events in Destiny 2 are only about cosmetics, and over 90% of the cosmetics you have to pay for. Surprise! Just like dungeons, seasonal events are not included in your seasonal pass purchase. You want to know why everyone thinks events are boring? It's because they are rehashed every year and they revolve around spending money. Every new armor set, $10. New emotes, $10. Ghost shells, ghost projections, finishers, the list goes on. Money, money, money. It's so bad that Festival of the Lost has eternally been dubbed Festival of the Costs. Why would I want to participate in events where I get one gun and have nothing else meaningful to work towards? Normally, I have zero problem with paying for cosmetics because cosmetics are just the extra cherry on top. I already paid for my content, and if I want to spend a little more, that's my choice. The problem with events is the cosmetics are the content. It's all over the marketing. It's in the silver shop. It's on my event challenge card. Events became unfun a long time ago because the content came second to the cosmetics. Yes, it is possible for cosmetic microtransactions to ruin video games. Just look at Halo Infinite. Part of the reason why it was received so poorly, beside the lack of co-op and mediocre campaign, was because all
I think the campaign was okay. I thought the campaign was pretty good.
Paywalls. This was always one of Halo's greatest strengths. The Master Chief Collection on Steam still has free live service seasonal content. You purchase the game once, get to play some of the best games ever made by Bungie and 343, and visual progression is alive and well, unhindered by microtransaction hell. Best $40 I've ever spent. Even less when it goes on sale. Events have become just another way, though, to squeeze more money and double dip into the player base in preparation for the next season, and it just keeps getting worse. Is Bungie in the moral wrong for promoting more cosmetics during an event? No. Do I have the right to call events in Destiny boring and being mid as hell? Because there is little to no loot tied to them that you can actually earn. Yes, we do have that right. And because events are quote-unquote free to all players, there is zero monetary incentive for Bungie to spend time on anything more than creating the most attractive Destiny shopping mall for 3 weeks. I would love for Bungie to prove me wrong on this one, because I like the idea of events. They're supposed to be fun, but there's nothing fun to do during those 3 weeks unless you like spending more money. The way you fix events in Destiny is by investing in the player experience. Supremacing during Guardian games is a great first step, but that existed as a base game mode in Destiny 1. So we really can't give brownie points here for something Bungie gave back to us from 6 years ago. Provide players who don't want to spend
SRL,
money,
bring SRL back.
Play or rewards
bring
for their
SRL
time,
back.
and then we'll revisit this topic.
Please bring SRL back. Bring it back for free. For silver.
And this next gripe is more of a PSA. Do I have anything against paid cosmetics existing in Destiny? No. However, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but the cost for everything in Eververse store is insane. $15 per armor set. Exotic emotes can get as high as $12 each. Exotic ornaments, $6 each.
I think that's
and this
crazy.
all adds up very quickly, especially if you want to get one thing per character. The most recent price hike we've seen has been the collaboration armor sets. These started with the Epic Games collab.
I have yet to buy
Season of
those.
Plunder, and have stayed consistent with every collab since. Assassin's Creed, PlayStation, all of these armor sets cost 2,000 silver each. That's $20
Yeah,
for
no, I have
one
yet to
set
buy
of
them.
armor. All of Destiny 1's DLCs included was on sale for just $20 just a few weeks ago. There's no universe where you can convince me that 3 armor sets cost $60 total, one for each class, by the way, and somehow that is worth the same price as a AAA game. Now, will people buy them? Obviously, yes. Will Bungie make lots of money? Yeah. Are we getting ripped off? You damn right. This isn't just Bungie doing this stuff. This is basically industry standard. In-game cosmetics are
Valorant goes
expensive.
crazy
Your
with
money,
those prices.
So spend it how you deem fit. But I figured while we're on the subject, I should make you doubly aware that everything in Eververse is very expensive and, dare I say, dramatically overpriced.
Yes. Which card? This is funny.
Now, Bungie is constantly devising methods to make you spend more money in-game, whether you're a hardcore player or even free-to-play. The constant scheming never ends. In addition to everything we've previously mentioned, this season, Bungie added an Eververse recommended tab to the store, so you can find offers made just for you more easily. Earlier this year, Bungie added the ability to purchase weapon ornaments on actual weapons in-game. Now, I will admit, this is convenient if you want to view what your flashy exotic would look like with a new paint job. But this is also an obvious play to reduce the distance between the player and the purchase button. You cannot preview armor ornaments with shaders before you buy them. You have to purchase the armor, then you can see if that matches your look. If any of you remember, shaders used to cost 40 bright dust from Eververse. And if you're unfamiliar with bright dust, it's an in-game currency that you can't buy, but you can only spend on specific items in the Eververse store. It's designed to keep players engaged with the store, even if they haven't spent any money, in the hopes that they will spend money in the future. Anyway, Bungie raised the price of shaders from 40 to 300 bright dust. Solely because they wanted to. Just another sink for bright dust, so you have less free money for armor, emotes, or anything else you want to buy. And I have a lot of bright dust, shaders behind paid bundles too. I hate this. And normally shaders would be frequently available for bright dust at the beginning of each season. Guys, it has been barely 3 weeks since the Season of the Deep launch at the time of this video, and no new shaders have been sold. Now, if you like ghost projections, don't take offense to what I'm about to say, but I am of the opinion that these cosmetics solely exist to inflate the Bright Ingram loophole. You could also make the argument that this is why Bungie makes so many cosmetics to begin with. Every new season, there are at least 9 new ships, sparrows, and ghosts. These are all sold in the Eververse store each season, but a majority of players will never see or want them. I wish I could tell you how many emotes and ghost projections exist in the game as of this moment, but Bungie does not put these items in player collections. Maybe someone with access to the API might know, but your average player has no clue. Inflating the Bright Ingram loophole means every time you level up enough to earn a Bright Ingram, you have to turn it in at the Eververse store and you get nothing of value. Further encouraging players to spend to acquire coveted cosmetics. Now, if you're a new light player, when you visit Shao-Han to pick up your first quests and bounties, you are greeted with an exotic in his inventory. Except you can't collect this exotic. It's a short quest that you can only pick up after buying the most recent expansion. This year, it's is Arbalest and requires you to buy Lightfall. Last year, it was Sweet Business and required you to buy the Witch Queen. No idea if Bungie removes these weapons from the loot pool for new lights or just pretends like they are part of the new expansion content, even though both of these weapons clearly belong in free-to-play given their age. Either way, shame on you, Bungie. Not only is this baiting players who haven't even played the game yet to spend money on an expansion, but you're doing it with content that has no business being tied to these new expansions.
Oof, he's got a point. Damn. Profit fall. Oh
Now,
no.
what if I told you Destiny has now approached pay to win? Now, some of you
It's
may
getting
say
close.
that will never happen. Others of you may say it happened a long time ago. However, this season, definitively without a shadow of a doubt, has now pushed Destiny 2 into pay to win territory. Let me explain. In
You
the
have my
past,
attention.
We've brought up issues like character boosting. Essentially, you can pay
Oh, I hate
$20
that
to skip
shit.
the Destiny campaign and start unlocking your subclass and getting a head start on other content. I would make the argument that this is pay to win. In fact, we have made that argument in the past, and at the time, it was a pretty controversial subject. Another hot topic is expansion pre-order early exotic access. If you bought the Lightfall Deluxe
Yeah,
Edition early,
that's
you
true.
unlocked Quicksilver Storm months before the Lightfall expansion was even released. People who bought the base version of Lightfall had to wait until Season the Deep to use this exotic, which is literally over half a year total in waiting. Now, we thought that the weapon was pretty good in PvP. We called it pay to win. More people agreed, but yet again, controversial. The problem is, many people are reluctant to call Destiny a pay to win game. This hesitancy stems from one question: what is considered winning in Destiny? If you don't know what winning even means, then can you even win in Destiny? Let's try and break it down. What if we classify winning in Destiny as achieving certain in-game goals? Going flawless, completing a dungeon, raid, or nightfall. All of these could be considered winning because they are difficult challenges, and they reward the players who complete them with great loot. Actually, I believe we just found our answer. Winning in Destiny 2 means getting great loot.
Yes.
Whether it's armor or weapons, great loot is the reason
think they
why
crossed
people play
that
this
line
game.
with
Strip
the
everything else away. At its
anniversary
core,
thing,
people play
in
Destiny
my
so they can
opinion,
earn loot
because of
and
Galahorn.
use that loot to complete harder content, or enhance the content they already play, earning more great loot in the process. Owning better loot objectively gives you an advantage over other players in game. Need I mention the Immortal and Trials of Osiris or Galahorn at multiple points in
Yes.
Destiny Sandbox? That's why it's called a looter shooter. Loot isn't everything Destiny has to offer, but it affects every aspect of the gameplay experience. With that in mind, we can now assign a definition of pay to win in Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is pay to win when an unfair advantage in obtaining great loot is only accessible to players who spend more money than what is essential to play Destiny 2. If you have a better definition, I would love to read your suggestions in the comments below. But as of
it's a
this
good way to
moment,
put it.
I believe this statement encapsulates pay to win in the context of Destiny 2 or any looter shooter quite well. All right, Cross, we get it. What's your point? Over the years, Bungie has been inching closer and closer to this pay to win line. And as of Season 21, Season the Deep, they finally crossed it. Bungie opened the floodgates and are now allowing people to buy max rank for the entire season pass on
What?
day one of the new season.
I
And
never
everything
knew that.
Really, Cross? The season pass is not even pay to win. Is that right? Let's
I
take a
never
look,
knew
shall we?
that.
What does the Destiny season pass actually contain? Emotes, shaders, ornaments? What about XP bonuses? In-game materials? More weapon
Yeah.
drops? Yeah, you can get those.
And that
Progression
deep sight
boosts, season
shit.
passes got 'em, fellas. Exotics? God roll legendary weapons? Every single one of those is available from the season pass, and every single one of these you can buy immediately for $100 at the beginning of a season. It didn't always used to be this way. Years
Oh my
ago, you
God.
couldn't even buy levels in the season pass. But then in Season the Undying, Bungie had a change of heart. You can now buy them, but it has to be at the end of the season. Bungie called it a catch-up mechanic, so no one would miss out if life got in the way. And it was from that moment the downward spiral began. Soon it was available to be purchased halfway through the season, then 3 weeks into the season. Now years later, it's available day one of a new season. Quite the catch-up mechanic. You only have 3 months to complete the season pass. Better buy the ranks now before they're gone. Good news, the bundle Bungie sells for the first season pass plus first 10 ranks also went up in price. And even better news, there'll be a evaluating new approaches to post-launch content in the year of Final Shape, which is corporate code for another price increase to $15 next year. It all makes sense now. Why do you think Bungie added that $100 silver purchase option in Steam while simultaneously offering a new fully ranked season pass for $100? Seems awfully convenient that both these new features shipped at the same time. You know what else is strangely convenient? Deep sight activation.
Damn.
For those of you who are unaware, deep sight
Exactly,
is used
those
to grant
deep sight
patterns for
things.
crafted weapons in Destiny. Once you've earned 5 deep sights for a specific weapon, you can craft the perfect roll of said weapon. It is literally the loot in-game of Destiny 2. Perfect weapons with perfect rolls that takes lots of time to get. Deep sight activation is the ability to apply deep sight to a weapon that didn't drop with the weapon initially. This new quality of life feature was teased earlier this year and was beyond exciting because this would have been a very useful avenue for newer returning players to earn old craftable weapons that no longer drop in the roll loot pool. Imagine our dismay when Bungie announced that the new deep sight harmonizer material that is used to apply deep sight is only available on the season pass. 3 from the free track and 3 from the pay track. 6 total per season. If you want to know the math behind that, if you're new to the game, earning every weapon that no longer drops with deep sight would take you 24 seasons to get them all. We haven't even had 24 seasons in Destiny's lifespan. Now there is no method to earn these materials in game. All you can do is wait for Bungie to drip feed you with XP. Unless you don't have to wait. Let's say you want that God roll targeted redaction or that crafted Apex Predator right now. All you need to do is spend some silver. And just like that, you have enough deep sight to instantly craft any weapon you like. Sure, you have to get it to actually drop, but that's not a problem when you can focus all the seasonal weapons at the helm and farm last switch weapons for a few hours. Purchasing deep sight application allows you to completely bypass the craftable weapon loot grind for any crafted weapon you want. And you know what's crazy? Bungie pulled this exact same stunt with armor transmog. If you want to customize your armor, it was going to be limited and extremely complicated to earn. Oh, but also you could just buy it from the Eververse store. Of course, people were angry, but Bungie was still always safe because at the end of the day, it was only cosmetic. It can't be pay to win. Deep sight application is anything but cosmetic. This new feature is now being weaponized by Bungie to implement pay to win mechanics into the season pass. Some of you may be thinking I'm overreacting. Let's listen to that data video just one more time.
A lot of people will now mention the slippery slope argument. Yes, Dado, we start with shaders, emblems, emotes, but who is to say that they won't introduce materials, armor, or weapons?
This is a good ass video.
If we see legendary guns for sale, if we see legendary marks for sale, I'm gonna be mad. If we see something like 100 motes of light for $5, I'm gonna be mad. I don't want to see power sold, I don't want to see shortcuts to power sold, nothing. And as long as Bungie does not cross the line of cosmetic items, I think we'll be fine. If Bungie does cross that line, you have my rage.
It doesn't matter if deep sight harmonizers aren't directly purchasable from the Eververse store. It doesn't matter if in-game materials, XP bonuses, exotic ciphers, or progression boosts are contained within the vehicle we call the Season Pass, you can still purchase them. The lie Bungie tries to tell us is that these rewards are available to everyone. Therefore, purchasing it early is of no consequence. All of the deep sight harmonizers are beyond rank 50 in the Season Pass. 99.9% of the player base will not reach those ranks for weeks, if not months. But if you have money, you can just access more loot, more rewards, more craftable godroll weapons for little to no work. What if the Immortal had been crafted in the season? Everyone would have lost their minds. Just imagine if you could essentially buy a perfect PvP weapon and terrorize the Crucible with it for weeks or months with little to no competition. All hell would have broken loose. This doomsday scenario is not only possible, but now it is incredibly likely. If this isn't pay to win, fellas, I don't know what is.
The final sale.
An argument I want to kill in the egg before it gains any traction is that Bungie is charging more money because they are making better content / another game. Don't kid yourself, guys. We know that Bungie's team for Destiny has not dramatically increased in size since the Taken King. We also know that Bungie is making a boatload of more money than they did back in Destiny 1 because more players and microtransactions exist. Yes, I think the seasonal model is better for Destiny as a live service game. Yes, I believe that microtransactions have their place in Destiny. I'm not even paying extra for seasons. I buy the deluxe edition of the game every year that has zero effect on me. But I am sick and tired of the player base getting nickeled and dimed at every turn. The constant double dipping, the never-ending increases in prices, and confusion for new players. I don't even know why we're surprised. Bungie in their GDC 2022 panel celebrated their 3-step plan for Destiny. After winning back player trust and keeping player retention high, their main focus was once again revenue. We took Bungie's side then when this controversy was blowing up, because believe it or not, we like it when Bungie's profitable. That's not a bad thing. But the pursuit of more profits came with the promise that it would be built off that foundation of player trust. Newsflash, adding pay-to-win mechanics and lying to the community destroys player trust. I am not going to support a business model that employs these types of marketing strategies. I'm not going to pretend like this is some turning point for Destiny, a point of no return. This is not a crossroad. It's just another step along a very long road that's marching us closer and closer to microtransaction hell. As for Bungie's new game Marathon, why should I give a damn about Marathon? I'm not paying to play Marathon. I'm paying to play Destiny 2. And as a diverse player who plays PvP and PvE, I thought overall things were decent. But then I listened to a clip from Grenader Jake, who lives and breathes PvP, especially Trials.
I think what Bungie touches usually turns to gold. Halo, Destiny, I bet you Marathon's gonna kill it. But do you want some real, honest feedback from me too? I think it's absolutely up that Bungie would abandon this game's PvP essentially, which is what they've done. They've made us basically no new maps in like 4 years, yet continue to make us pay hundreds of dollars a year so they can go work on their next baby. It feels like complete bullshit, dude. I feel like Destiny players have the right, especially Destiny PvP players, to be pissed. We're still spending over $100 every year to play this game. They literally abandoned us. And I feel like that's really frustrating.
And this really put things into perspective. Bungie abandoned Destiny 2 PvP for their new PvP game. Not only that, but Marathon is also getting all the bells and whistles Destiny players have been asking for a very long time.
Yes, like dedicated servers, exactly.
New maps. Only after complaining year after year, buying new expansions and seasons year after year, are PvP players finally getting some attention. More than anything else, it's just sad that this much money has been spent by this many people, and what content do they have to show for it? Almost nothing. Bungie made a promise to make the game better for all players, not just PvE players, all players. Sadly, this isn't the first time Destiny players have been abandoned before. I know a lot of you have never played or don't care about Destiny 1 these days, but 7 years ago, before Silver even existed, the Taken King Collector's Edition was sold, and it included some custom emotes and class items. Back then, these were some of the best looking armor pieces and emotes in the game. Several of our editors were young teens at the time, and being Destiny fans, they bought the Collector's Edition. Revisiting those accounts years later, practicing for the Destiny 2 King's Fall raid race, gathering footage for videos and so on, they notice they can't equip their custom Taken King items anymore. Items that they own, items that they paid for, items that Bungie would happily charge them $20 to repurchase years later are sitting in their inventory, and they can't use them. They aren't the only ones either. Forum posts dating several years back also complained about this exact issue. Bungie hasn't fixed it. Why would they? Repurchasing old content isn't new grounds for Bungie, and paying for content just for it to be unplayable years later isn't a novel concept for them. Bungie doesn't care about their old game. Bungie only cares about their new game, the one that will make them more money, the one that gets the $3.6 billion deals, the one they can use as a vehicle to be as profitable as possible, pay to win or otherwise. That's everything. That's all I got, guys. This isn't a Bungie strike. This isn't me disowning Destiny for the rest of my life. Frankly, that will accomplish nothing. As a wise man once said, every gaming boycott is one 3-minute cinematic from being over. The final shape, Destiny's climax, is on the horizon. Microtransactions will not kill Destiny. Destiny is not on the verge of collapse. It's in fact the opposite. Destiny is making more money than ever before. It has more players than ever before. And I love that. But the terrible truth is, this success gives even more credence to these business practices. It affirms greedy behavior, and it gives Bungie a giant green light to invent new ways to take our money and devalue the player. I remember the days when you walked into a store and bought a game, and now more than ever, I find myself diving into a game and finding a store. A long time ago, when Bungie was beneath the corporate umbrella of Activision, we saw the senseless greed, the half-baked products, and we rejoiced when Bungie went solo. Little did we know, we were going out of the frying pan and into the fire. Bungie in some ways is worse than Activision ever was. If you take anything from this video, I want you to think about everything we discussed, all the actions Bungie has taken objectively, and decide for yourself, where do I draw the line? How far is too far. And remember that, because looking back, we're already well and beyond what we would have tolerated 7 years ago. I imagine 7 years from now into the future, when we have Marathon, a mobile game, and who knows, maybe even Destiny 3, I'll ask you again, where did you draw the line? And I'm almost certain Bungie will have stepped over it.
Damn. That was a good ass video, actually. It really does suck to see this type of, I guess, behavior from a game company that I really, really love. I really, really, really love Bungie. I think they struck gold with Halo, like how Grenader Jake said. I think they struck gold with Halo. I think they've struck gold with Destiny. I think they'll strike gold with Marathon. But man, it feels like PvP has been. It really does feel like PvP has been abandoned. When my friend Darren and I'll tell you another story. My friend Darren and I got, I got Darren into Destiny 2 again. When I got him back into Destiny 2 again, he is pretty big on PvP games, so he wanted to dive into the Crucible as soon as he could, and whenever there was nothing to do or something to do even, he would just be in the Crucible anyways, no matter what. And we would play competitive, we would get ranks, and then the next season we would do the exact same thing. And we did that for like 2 seasons, and then we ran out of stuff. And even then, I think we only spent like maybe a couple weeks playing Crucible. Not because we're strictly PvE players, because I do love the Crucible. But it's almost like I've become a strictly PvE player because there's nothing to do in the Crucible. I don't think it's balanced correctly. And in my opinion, I don't think it's balanced correctly. I miss like 30th anniversary Crucible. If I'm being completely honest, I miss 30th anniversary Crucible. I think shotguns and snipers are in an okay place now. I honestly, I think hand cannons are a buff. I think, oh my god, I don't know. I'm not hardcore PvP enough though to make super rash, I guess, opinions on it. It's gotten to the point where Darren, one of my best friends, it's gotten to the point where he doesn't play Crucible very much anymore at all either. In fact, we aren't playing a lot of Destiny at all anymore, and that doesn't really have anything to do with the monetization. It's just that, I guess, low period after an expansion, and it always comes at that first season after an expansion. No matter how good that first season after the expansion is, I think the season right after Witch Queen, the one with Season of the Haunted, I think that was a great season overall, but it still didn't have a crazy amount of players, or at least I didn't feel like I had a crazy amount of players, but maybe it's just because I wasn't playing it as much as I should have been, or could have been. It's just because it's a low point. You get a little bit burnt out from this amazing expansion that comes out, and you just have a lot of content to burn through. But with this, it's like I said earlier, I feel bad asking my friends to sink their time into this game. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know why it's happening, I guess. I don't know. It's just hard to talk about it because you can say all day and all night that this is not good. It's not great. It's not good at all. And nothing will change because, like you said, player population is all the way through the roof. Bungie is making more than ever. The team doesn't grow a lot. I think the team has grown a good bit, but I don't think it's grown a lot. And then it's not going to matter because Bungie has, I don't know, Bungie has struck goals, I guess, and they are not done hammering away at it. And I don't know what else they can do besides, I don't know, even as a business, it's not good. No, it is good as a business. It's just not good to see because if they were introducing new avenues of content, I guess, I think I would feel differently. I think if they maybe introduced, a new avenue of content and then you had to pay for it, then I suppose sure, and I mean like actual content, and that would maybe fly by like a little bit, maybe. But it's gotten to the point where every year they've just added new avenues to just pay for stuff we've already gotten before. Stuff like the dungeon key is a really good example. I think the dungeon key is ludicrous. I think it's really, really dumb in my opinion. I've always thought the dungeon key was dumb, especially since we got Shattered Throne with Forsaken, which was already a crazy, amazing expansion. One of my favorite expansions ever, and a lot of Destiny communities' favorite expansion. Um, and then we got Prophecy that dropped with Season of Arrivals. You bought the season, you got Prophecy, and I loved that so much. And I was like, oh, this is a great, like, this is a great way to put that, I guess. And then we got, well, before Season of Arrivals, we also got Pit of Heresy that came with the expansion, just like how Shadow Throne came with Forsaken. Pit of Heresy came with Shadowkeep. And then the 30th anniversary thing dropped with Grasp of Avarice. And I don't know, I guess I was relatively okay with it. Because to me, it felt like its own mini season. Or like a mini-ish expansion, but it wasn't for free. And I guess I was just okay with it. So I was like, oh, okay, sure. Put a dungeon in there, sure. That makes it worth me paying. And because, I mean, it's not like I didn't pay for the other dungeons. I paid for the other dungeons. But I also paid with them on top of stuff. And it's not like I paid for the dungeon in the anniversary pack. I paid for the dungeon on top of all this other stuff that you get, like well, what else did the anniversary pack give you? I guess like new avenues to armor and loot and stuff, but I purchased it on top of that. I never thought there was just going to be a dungeon key, much less a $20 dungeon key for 2 dungeons. Come on. Come on. No, I don't think that's fair. And, oh man, it just screams greedy. It really does. Even if they aren't greedy. I know they don't go into the office every day and sit down at the computers and they go, what's a new way to starve money out of our player base? I know that no one sits down as a game developer, a true game developer, who hates their game and hates the people who play their game. I know that. So I know it can't be something as simple as that. I think it's just the horse just keeps spitting out money, so they're gonna keep beating it even when it is dead. I don't know. And it feels like Destiny, community-wise, is going to reach a breaking point. I really want that breaking point to come soon. Almost. It's almost like I wish that breaking point will come soon so that we can see change in the final shape, I guess. Because I think they mentioned in like a twab that the next season's already been made, and the season after that is in full production, and the final shape has already been started being made. So it's hard to make those changes, especially since plans have already been made for those expansions and stuff like that. But it's to a breaking point. And sure, more people are buying stuff in Bungie more than ever, and sure, more people are playing. But even though the population keeps, I guess, growing, I feel like the community is leaving, if that makes sense. It just doesn't feel like a great place, and it feels weird to discuss it now. And I'm sorry, I'm like ranting, but it feels weird to discuss it now because every time one of these expansions drops, immediately after, even if it's a great expansion, because we saw this with Korean, we are like, the Destiny community is like, Bungie's at a breaking point. This next expansion is going to have to make or break Destiny. It's going to have to make or break Bungie. It'll either kill the universe or save it. And I don't think that was ever true, in my opinion, because I feel like Bungie always finds a way, despite everything that Aztecross says, which I think about 99, if not 100%. I'm thinking about 99% of the things he said in here were extremely good points. Extremely good points. And it was a well written video and it was well edited. I think Bungie still is an amazing studio that can do amazing things. So I've never doubted that, this next expansion is going to make or break Destiny. Like, no, they're going to get back up. And I hope that's what happens here. I hope, I guess twofold hope it, because I hope that the disappointment, I'll say it, I'm disappointed in Lightfall. The disappointment that is Lightfall. I hope Bungie gets back up and shines, because it seems like whenever they're on their last leg or they're beaten to the ground, they get up stronger and better than ever, especially if you look at something like the launch of Destiny 1 to the Taken King, which is my second favorite expansion of all time. And a lot of people's favorite expansion. Everyone loves the Taken King. It saved Destiny. Then Destiny 2 launched. Horrible. Christopher Cyrus came. Horrible. It was in a terrible state, if not the worst state the Destiny franchise has ever been in. And then Forsaken launched. And another wave of just, this is a great expansion. It's amazing. Because Bungie did amazing. They over-delivered, which is something they currently don't like doing. If we are to take those GDC screenshots to heart, which we should because they're real. Bungie said that they don't like over-delivering because it creates a bad habit. And I understand that from a business standpoint. I understand that. But I would totally be okay, I guess, if we got a Forsaken expansion 1 year and then a Shadowkeep level expansion the next. Because Shadowkeep right now I think is my least favorite expansion out of all the expansions in the Destiny franchise. Because I think it is very, very low quality-ish. I feel like it's low tier, low quality, and it's really low effort. Not that it wasn't any effort, but just compared to the others, it felt like low effort. And so I would be okay if we got Forsaken, Shadowkeep, and then another Forsaken the year after. I would be okay with that because Shadowkeep did bring a lot of technical updates and a lot of quality of life updates. I'm fine with that if we get that every 2 years, and then every 2 other years we would get a giant expansion, especially with Final Shape coming in. I hope to God they over-deliver. So now that we're in that, I won't say it's in the same place because again, population is up. It's up, stocks is up. It's buy right now, but what's it called? Sorry. They're it just feels like they're back on their back legs again, and it feels like we've been beaten down just in a different way. With Destiny 1, it felt like there was no real content, so Destiny 2, no, sorry, not Destiny. So Taken King came in and gave us real content. It felt like there wasn't any story. Taken King brought us story. It brought us, well, a real game, truth to be told. And then Destiny 2 launched, and it launched with story. It just wasn't good. It brought us content. It wasn't good content. And then Forsaken came and it brought us good story, good content. It launched this really, really good story that even takes stuff from the Taken King and brings it to the forefront. I think it launched extremely well. With Lightfall now, I feel like we've gotten, or at least this year of Lightfall, I think we've gotten a lackluster story with Lightfall. I think the content actually was okay. I think the content was pretty good. I think the raid was easy, and I wish it would have been more difficult, but I still think it's a good raid. Maybe that'll change later down the line. But we've gotten content again, and this just not good. But now it's also, we've gotten this microtransaction hell. We've been gouged out of stuff we are used to usually getting. It's not like they're introducing new content and then making you pay for it. That's fine. And give us more stuff. Give me more. I'll pay for more. More actual content. I will pay for it. I've never been shy about paying for the stuff. You see my 3 collector's edition. And even the Shadowkeep collector's edition is like right beside that one. But don't give us this crap that is just cosmetic bullshit. Just so you can make us pay for another thing. And definitely don't do what you did with the dungeons and make it so that stuff that we paid originally $10 for all of a sudden make us pay $20 for. And I guess like you can make some really roundabout argument that says that like the dungeons are still $10 worth, but it's not. You know what? If that's the case, like you should. It's not because you paid for a season and a dungeon with $10 it used to be, and now if you want to do that same thing, it's $20. So no, the dungeons are all of a sudden worth $20. It feels like. And you can't just buy a single one, you gotta buy them both. And the whole season price thing increasing is shady as fuck. So no, it's increasing new avenues to pay for stuff that we've already gotten, and it's starting to get tiring. And you know what? It hurts even more whenever Bungie posts their weekly blog called the Twid now. When they post their weekly blog and it is nothing but fluff and stuff that I don't. Well, let me not say that. I do want to hear about stuff like Game to Give. I think they do. I think Bungie's donation program is really, really good, but I don't want to get sidetracked. It posts stuff that makes it seem like they're tone deaf. Bungie, I think, usually has a really good habit of communicating with their community. Despite even when the community themselves are in the wrong or are terrible, but they've gone radio silent, especially on issues like this. They've gone radio silent on microtransaction issues. They have gone radio silent, I guess, and they've also gone radio silent on real PvP, I guess, content, because I don't know. It is ridiculous. It feels like the PvP team is Skeleton Crew at some points. No, it's exactly what it feels like at all points right now. There's nothing to do in PvP for me. There's no update to the armors that we said we were supposed to get yearly. Where's the vendor update to the armors? Where's the new trials armor? Where's all this stuff? Shaders are behind silver now? Oh, perfect. Now there's a deep sight harmonizer in the season pass, and now the season pass can be paid for all from day one. I didn't even know that. I think that's so crazy, and it is infuriating. It is infuriating. And just like Aztecross said, oh my god, he said everything beautifully well. I really commend him for making this video because it's a great video and explains things very, very well. But as he said, I'm not quitting Destiny or like saying it's a terrible game. It's not. It's a good game and it can be amazing. It can be a goddamn amazing game. But geez, it seems like a corporation is getting in the way. But Bungie's on my back right now. They're on the ground again. So you know what? I hope in Final Shape they break some of that habit and they over-deliver. I could say a lot more, but I'm not going to. Still love the game. I'm still in love with the game. I'm still making content for the game, whether it be these reaction videos or Destiny videos or campaign stuff. I actually have like real Destiny content videos that I want to make. Not that these aren't real Destiny content videos, but stuff I'm scripting that I want to talk about with Destiny. I'm planning stuff like that, and I'm also planning a giant like animated series for this universe. I'm in love with this universe and this thing they've created. I think it's amazing, but man, if they don't nickel and dime you, I don't know. I feel like something does have to change, and I hope in this next this Thursday, or Twid, sorry. I hope in the next Twid this Thursday, I hope they at least recognize it or have some notion of what is going on. I see some people saying that we need another state of the game, and I agree. We need another state of the game. Because, this is not going to hold us. This is not going to hold very well if this just keeps going the way it is. But I do want to thank you for watching. I know I've recorded for a very, very long time now. It's one of the longest reaction videos I think I've had. That isn't just like because the video is long. I've had a lot to talk about apparently. Like fucking idiot. But I do want to thank you guys for watching. Check out the teaser to my Dark Age series, check out the Kentuck 3, Chapter 1 of the Dark Age series. And that connection I'll explain later down the line. You probably actually won't even hear about it until next year. And for those looking for a timeline for the Dark Age, you probably aren't even watching this video for Dark Age stuff. But if you are, timeline for the Dark Age, you are not going to see Dark Age stuff until maybe late 2024. It's a big project, and I have a lot of stuff going on with it. But again, thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.